Welcome to the September Planning Commission, Tullahoma City Regional Planning Commission meeting. The Chairman, Paul Schwer. Determination of a quorum. We do have a quorum with Mr. Sellers and Mr. Rice absent. We have two new members sitting on here with the new BOMA administration, and that's Mayor Lynn Seaborn and Ms. Zernovia McGee. So welcome. And at this time, I'd like to ask everyone to rise and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, first order of business, read and approve the minutes from the August 19th meeting on page 1. I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Mr. Hall.
Second.
Second from Mr. Seaborn, Mayor Seaborn. With that, I will call the vote. All in favor of the minutes as written? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed and abstained? All right, minutes passes 5-0. All right, general public comments for items not on the agenda. At this time, anyone from the public that wishes to speak on an item not on today's agenda is allotted the time to do so. Please come forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll close that. Reports from officers and staff. Mr. Rush.
Yes, sir. We have an election for the new chair and vice chair at our next October meeting, as well as October 21st. We have Commissioner Comer and Commissioner Rice. Their seats are up. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. There's no old business, so moving on to new business. Subdivision plats. These are public hearings. Hampton Estates major subdivision final plat. A final plat to create 15 lots located at 4142 Riley Creek Road. It's in the urban growth boundary. The applicant is Mr. Andy Best. I'd like to invite the applicant.
I'm the applicant. My name is Andy Best. I'm the land surveyor hired to do the project. We are seeking final approval on a 15-lot subdivision, like you said, off Riley Creek Road. We've already got it through the Planning Commission as a preliminary. Soil tested for all the lots, so we're kind of ready to start going with it. So,
all right. Thank you, Mr. Best.
thank you.
All right. With that, this is a public hearing. I'd like to invite anyone from the public to come forward at this time to speak on this. Seeing none, close the public hearing and move on to the staff report. Mr. Rush.
Thank you. We saw this plat earlier this year. We're creating 15 lots on 18.56 acres. It's located at 4142 Riley Creek Road. It's in Tullahoma's UGB of Coffee County. Electric will be Duck River. Water will be TUA. TDEX approved. Its zoning is RS1, 50 foot in the front, 25 in the rear and the sides. You also have a note from Scott Allen on the fire hydrant. It'll be installed before signatures, meets all requirements. Recommend to approve, subject to staff comments.
All right, thank you. Entertain a motion?
Motion to approve, subject to staff comments.
All right. Motion from Mr. Hall, second from Mr. Comer. Any discussion on this item?
I just have a question. It's a general question, more about the county. Everything going well with the county in terms of the issue? Do you anticipate any issues with the county approving on their side? This is just me as mayor trying to see how we're cooperating.
No, I believe that part of Mr. Mr. Rush's ways of doing things is that when a project like this outside the UGB comes in front of their board, he sends it to the county planning director. He looks over it. He says, "Looks good to me," and I believe that's in the report. So
that's good. So I'm only asking because we have had occasional issues a couple of years ago with that, and I'm on the county commission still. Won't be very much longer, but I'm just trying to see how things are working there. So appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? All right, with that, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approval of the final plat subject to staff comments? Aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
4 to Coffee County.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were we forwarded to Coffee County?
No, we're approving.
Okay, yeah, that's, okay, all right,
Yes, we approve. We approve all subdivisions.
yes.
Yes.
All right, let's try that again then. All in favor of approval of the final plat of Hampton Estates subject to staff comments? Aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes 5-0 with Mr. Hall as the motion and Comer is set. Okay. All right, item number 2, Walnut Ridge Major Subdivision preliminary plat to create 24 lots at 801 West Side Drive in Franklin County. The applicant is Mr. Andy Best. Mr. Best.
Yes, thank you. My client purchased the property. We actually already cut out a lot up front, 2 lots up front. We're planning on putting a road down the middle and having, like you said, 24 additional lots, all are okay with the zoning requirements in Tullahoma. I believe there were a few comments. I've partially addressed part of them. I'm still waiting to get back information from the civil engineer to finalize the comments from the city engineer. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
This is a public hearing. I'd like to invite anyone to come forward. All right, seeing none, move on to staff report. Mr. Rush.
Yes, sir. Walnut Ridge Estates is a major subdivision preliminary plat. It's on the R1. It's on 9.15 acres. Location is 801 West Side Drive. TUA is going to do the water, sewer, and electric. We're creating 24 lots. TCS schools, no impact at this time. You have that report in front of you. TDOT will require entrance permit, and TDOT is also may require a traffic study. That is left up to them, and they will do that during the construction phase. Does not meet our requirements for a traffic study. It's under 68 lots. You have a 20-foot wide fire lane access that runs from lot 1 to lot 13 to the cul-de-sac. A fire hydrant will be located between lot 12 and 13. The connectivity is 1.5. Lot 4 will have a 20-foot drainage easement. You have a 0.55 drainage detention easement. You may lose lot 4. We'll find out a little bit more about that during construction phase. Recommend to approve preliminary plat subject to all staff comments.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rush. Motion?
Motion to approve, subject to staff comments.
Second. Second from Mr. Comer. All right, any discussion on this?
I had a question on lot 4 to see what your take is on if that's a feasible lot due to the drainage easement.
Yeah, they've got the drainage easement designated there. It appears as though there is a building envelope there, but there are a lot of other factors that could come into play during construction plan with the civil engineer. I don't know what that drain consists of. If that were a stream, to be designated as a stream, then you would have buffer zones, that may be even wider than the easement that they're showing. So that could take lot 4 out of play. But I would say, as it's shown now, it probably is a buildable lot. Worst case scenario for them, you end up with 23 lots instead of 24.
The one thing that concerns me is we see some subdivisions that we approve the lots, and then, during normal rain, it might not be bad, but then it comes at once every 10 years, even though it's not documented, but then all of a sudden now it's up to their front porch, and then
in a case like this, you're actually going to have the detention immediately above that lot.
Okay.
So
it
that's going to
should.
guarantee that your flows going through that parcel, that lot 4, are not any greater than they would have been prior to the development.
Okay.
In most cases,
Reduced.
they're actually reduced somewhat.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
With the subdivision like that, and we're talking about lot 4 being possibly unbuildable. just for note, if there will be no variance that shows up here, and that will be a valid thing, is that correct?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. That's what I thought, based on our last conversations on that. Okay. All right, any other comments?
And that was the purpose of me asking it, because I didn't want to see a variance come
Yeah.
a year later.
I get you. All right. With that, I'll call the vote. All in favor of the Walnut Ridge Major Subdivision Preliminary Plat, subject to staff comments?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Is it 5? Yeah, it's 5. Item number 3, Denby Old Shelbyville Highway Minor Subdivision Final Plat. A final plat to create 4 lots at 121 Old Shelbyville Highway. The applicant is Northcutt and Associates.
My name's Jason King. I'm representing Northcutt and Associates Land Surveying and representing Mr. Denby on this division here. The property's on Old Shelbyville Highway. Lot 3 does have a right-of-way connected with it, and there is a utility and ingress-egress easement that will access Lot 3 or Lot 4 at the back. We did a topographic survey of the property, and there is also a drainage easement the southwest corner of the property, just in the corner there, and it flows out and crosses Old Shelbyville Highway at the north, and we're just seeking approval.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. This is a public hearing, so I'd like to invite anyone from the public that wishes to speak on this at this time. And seeing none, I will move on to the staff report.
Yes, sir, thank you. 2.49 acres, we're approving 4 lots. The property currently has 1 single-family lot with a gravel drives on lot 1 and 2. Each lot is over 0.35 acres. Lots 3 and 4 will be served by ingress, egress, and utility easement. 2A is the electric, water, and sewer, meets all zoning and subdivision regulations. Staff recommends to approve with all subject to all staff comments.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rush. All right, motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion from Mayor Seaborn.
Second.
Second from Mr. Hall.
So we got.
All right, we'll give it to Shinomi. Or Miss McGee, I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
All right. All right, with that, any discussion on this? All right, seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of the approval of the Denby Old Shelbyville Highway Minor Subdivision Final Plat, subject to staff comments?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Motion passes 5-0. All right. Item number 4 will be, we will postpone that to the next meeting due to we do not have TDAC approval for that yet. So that'll show up next month, just for the record there. So moving on to the zoning map amendments. These are, again, public hearings. Zoning map amendment ZMA 296, a request to rezone the property located at 393 Flowertown Road from general commercial C2 to neighborhood commercial C3. Applicant is Mr. Northcutt and Associates. And the applicant seemingly left. All right. All right, this is a public hearing, so anyone that wishes to speak on this, go ahead. Sir, you're recognized. Please state your name and address, and you allotted 2 minutes.
Jason Cathy, 381 Flowertown Road. I don't know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not can do, but I would like to ask for somebody to look at the rezoning of Flowertown Road from C2 commercial to residential, back to residential. I mean, it's a neighborhood. It's never going to be used for commercial use anywhere. We have residential Moore County right across the street, and I'm afraid it's going to lead to spot zoning if we don't revisit what we have now. I mean, in 2009, 2010, it was a bulk rezoning to C2, and we are a residential neighborhood. So I would like to ask if we could revisit the zoning and maybe look at rezoning some of Flowertown Road back to residential.
Okay. All right, thanks, sir.
Can I just ask a question about how do you bring your meeting? I don't know.
You're recognized, yes.
So I can't remember, do we have some commercial on Flowertown Road, right? Back on the side towards town, correct? Yeah, okay, that's just, I was trying to visualize it in my head. I remember having that discussion a few years back. All right, thanks.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
And anyone else from for the public hearing? Ma'am, you're recognized, please. Same thing. State your name and address for the record, and you're allotted 2 minutes.
I'm Rhonda Page, and I actually reside in Moore County at 382 and 384 Flowertown Road. I have 2 buildings on my property, so that's why I have 2 addresses. And I'm diagonally across from this property, and I've resided in this same place since 1963. Not to make that special, but so I've seen this road for many years. And the north end where we are located, headed toward Shelbyville, has always been residential. There's a lot of through traffic. The road is generally just used kind of as an alternate route when there's things going on Highway 41A, and it's nice, peaceful, quiet farmland. We also, my father, who is elderly and 94 and couldn't attend, also owns a 15-acre tract diagonally from the other direction to this property as well, and it's still, there's no structures on it. And I echo what Jason said about revisiting the rezoning of this one specific lot, and to see what the purpose would be, the intended purpose. Because if a structure is constructed there, I would assume if it's maintained as residential, it'll hopefully remain residential. But I would appreciate seeing a revisiting too of that rezoning. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right. Anyone else for the public hearing? I'm guessing that's a no, but all right. Public hearing is closed. Mr. Rush.
Thank you. Current zoning C2, proposed zoning is C3, which just adds pretty much residential use to that. You have 124 foot of road frontage. There's currently one old single wide trailer that's being demoed right now. They're proposing a use with residential uses, meets all zoning requirements. Staff recommends send a favorable recommendation based on the findings of facts.
All right, thank you. Entertain a motion at this time. So we can talk about it.
Yeah. I'll make a motion.
All right. Motion for Mr. Seymour.
That was second, yeah.
Second for Mr. Hall. All right, discussion. Mr. Seymour, it's your
Yeah, I'm sorry.
motion. Go ahead.
I guess I already made my discussion before the discussion. I apologize for that. I don't have a lot of comment about that, other than just it seems like this is a move back in the residential direction we can get done today, and we can talk about that more detailed one later. I will say that in that whole range, I do have some thoughts about there may be more development coming up North Jackson, and if that happens, there will be more pressure, I suspect, to put some commercial in there eventually. But I don't see any problem with talking about it again with y'all living like you are there. So that's all the comments I have.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this C3 is a move in the right direction for sure. And we're getting ready to redo the comprehensive plan and the
Future
land map,
land
so we
use
can
map,
bring that up as part of the discussion.
We're already going to be talking about looking at that future land use map in the near future, so that'll be a time to look at it.
Yeah, we certainly don't want to end up with industry next to farmland or whatever. But okay, Mr. Hall, go ahead.
One of the questions I had is, if you're looking at the current zoning map, it's currently a sea of red of C2. Would that pose, specifically like the spot zoning, would that pose an issue since there's literally no C3 even?
That's why C3 was made and developed. Because it still uses all those commercial uses. All you're adding to it is residential.
Okay,
so people can continue to build back and occupy those, and also so I don't actually have to send out letters telling them they can't be there.
Okay, so I just want to make sure.
Yes, is there? I noticed that too. I was actually kind of surprised looking at the map, but the best of my recollection, and it seems like there's reasonable residential use down that road, except for maybe the tractor place.
Correct. There's quite a bit of residential down through there. Yeah, it's all currently used for residential what they're buying.
Okay. All right. Well, let's revisit that, and we're getting ready to have a study session for the comprehensive plan here I don't know if you have a date yet or not, but.
I do not have a date. I still need 2 members to get back with me, and then I'll shoot that email out.
Okay. All right. We will revisit that. That's good. Good discussion. With that, anything else? All right. Moving on, we'll call the vote. All in favor of to send a favorable request to rezone the property located at 393 Flowertown Road, subject to staff comments, I think. Or is there no staff comments? Subject to staff comments. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstained. The motion passes 5-0, and that's from Seaborn and Hall. All right. Item number 3, zoning text amendment, public hearing. Zoning text amendment, ZTA 235, a text amendment to the zoning ordinance to allow event centers in the Central Commercial District C1 zoning district. The applicant is the staff, so Mr. Rush, I'll let you introduce this.
Thank you. We're going to allow event centers in C1 zoning district. Event centers align with the current allowed uses in C1 plus the Atlantic already serves as an operational event center in C1. So pretty much a little backstory is what is it? I had a conversation with Jason Quick, Winston Brooks, and someone that were proposing an event center downtown. They were going to buy this building and pretty much totally rehaul it. But their thing was that they wanted to use it for an event center. Of course, event centers are allowed. Their max occupancy would be about 50, so it's not really that many people downtown. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, this is a public hearing, so anyone from the public would like to speak on this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I assume that there's no more staff report. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Mr. Hall. Second. Second from Ms. McGee. Any discussion? Is this, I mean, all right. My real question, I mean, this seems reasonable.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Charles, where event centers allowed now?
So currently right now it's allowed in the C2 district, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's in
So it's just allowed pretty much downtown core. That was proposed.
Okay. Is this consistent with what other jurisdictions are doing?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and it's very consistent what Tullahoma is allowing right now with the Atlantic serving as an event center as well to host. So,
Okay. Yep. All right. Any other discussion? All right. Call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. And that was a motion to send a favorable recommendation to the BOMA. All right. With that, that is the end of the Planning Commission agenda. So we are adjourned from that, and I will call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting. We do have a quorum, and we'll read and approve the minutes from the August 19th Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Mr. Hall.
Second.
Second from Mr. Comer. All in favor of the minutes as written? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right. The minutes are passed 5-0. There is no old business. There is no new business. So we are adjourned. Thank you, and we will re-adjourn in October.